I've seen so many people buy a great Shopify theme and then completely waste its potential. They skip important settings, important features, and they end up with a store that doesn't look at all like what they have imagined. A good theme alone won't make your store successful. You need to set it up the right way in order to get the results that you want. In this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to set up and customize your Shopify theme to make sure that you are making the most out of your theme and its features. In this tutorial, I will be working on the Enterprise theme from Clean Canva. Enterprise is one of my all-time favorite Shopify themes for so many reasons, but mainly because it's packed with so many advanced features that can save you a lot of money because it can replace a lot of apps. And we are going to see these features through this tutorial. But even if you are not using the Enterprise theme, maybe you are still searching for the right theme for your store, I still highly recommend you to watch this tutorial because everything that you are going to learn in here will still apply no matter what theme you are using. And I'm extremely happy to announce that this video is being sponsored by Clean Canva, the company behind the Enterprise theme. They offer so many different themes that you can check out. They are suitable for so many niches and all of them are amazing, and I highly recommend you to pick one of them for your store. And now let's move to my screen and let's get started. I will start first by showing you the Enterprise theme, and this exercise is super important and you can profit from it a lot because while you are choosing the theme for your store, it's very important to pick a theme that has most of the features and functionalities that you are looking for in your Shopify store. This is going to save you a lot of money because your theme can practically replace a lot of apps. So instead of paying monthly for several apps, you will have a theme that can replace all of these apps. And this is super important, especially that now we pay only once for the Shopify theme. So it's a one-time payment. Okay, so think about everything that you want to have in your store. Maybe you want to have comparison tables. Maybe you want to have announcement bars. Maybe you want to have like shop the look. So think about all of these features and sections that are unique for your own niche and for your own business and start your research from there. Okay, I'm going to show you how to preview a theme and how to understand the different functionalities that a theme has in order to choose the right one for your business and for your store. So again, we are using the Enterprise theme from Clean Canva in this video. So here I am inside the Shopify theme store, and the first thing I want you to do is to click on View Demo Store. And in here, you will notice that you can preview this theme in 3 different options. So you have like 3 different niches or 3 different vibes. And it's very important to know that everything that you see in one demo store can apply to another. So basically, these demo stores are like different ways of showcasing the theme. So they are trying to show you the different options or the different features within one theme. So if you see one, let's say, feature in a demo, but you don't see it in another, it doesn't mean that you can't apply it. You can apply it regardless of what, let's say, style you started with at the beginning. Okay, so just keep this in mind. Okay, and in here you can choose between previewing on mobile or on desktop. All Shopify themes are mobile friendly, so you don't need to worry about this part. But I like to preview it on desktop first and then check it on mobile as well. I will start by checking the home demo store because this is the niche that I'm going to work on in this video. But as I said before, everything that you see in one demo is applicable. Okay, so let's go to home. And as you can see, when I scroll down in here, I can see the different options or the different sections available in this theme. So let's say, for example, I'm looking for a theme that allows me to compare my products. In this case, I need to go to a collection page to see if this is an option in this theme. So I will scroll down, and as you can see, this is an option. If I click here on compare and I click on another product, in here, I have the option to compare all of these products. I click on compare and I see the comparison table. So depending on your niche and what you are selling, the features that you are looking for in a theme will be different. But what I highly recommend you to look at in every store is the navigation menu. What type of menus do you have in your theme? So as you can see with the Enterprise, we have so many different menus. How much sophisticated you want your menus to be will depend a lot on how large your catalog is and how many collections and sub-collections you want. For large catalogs, having like advanced features and advanced menus is super important. For smaller catalog, this might not be a very important factor. The second thing I like to look at is the search bar. And as you can see in here, they have a very advanced search bar. Again, this is very suitable for a store with a lot of products. And one of the features that I really like about this theme, for example, is that it allows you to have a discount code and directly copy this discount code and use it. So in here, let's say you're doing something special, you can use a discount code directly from here. Scrolling down in here, you will be able to explore more and more of the sections of the theme. So for example, in here, we can notice that they allow us to explore the products in here using this special menu. So this is an option that I don't think you see frequently in other themes. I don't actually think I've seen this option in other themes at all, but this is a very nice option. Again, especially if you have a large catalog or you like to showcase your collections and sub-collection in a different fancy way. Scrolling down, you will see more and more sections like collections list, more in here. And some of these sections are pretty common. You can find them in different themes, but other sections are really like special and you don't find them in any theme. Again, I highly recommend you to scroll down, explore all the different features. For example, in here they have a countdown, which is super nice. And in here, for example, they have a product featured section where you can talk about like the different features of your product. This is a very nice section as well. Okay, the second thing I recommend you to do is to actually go to a collection page and see what's happening there. See if the collection page have the features and options that you want. So for example, I would look at the filters. Again, I will look at the comparison table, which is a very unique feature. Actually, it's one of my favorite features when it comes to the enterprise theme, and you can even have an announcement within your menu, within the filter menu. This is also a very nice thing. I think also you can have a highlighted product, as you can see in here, so you can choose one product to be highlighted. This is also a very nice feature. The next thing that I would do is to go to a product page and see how it looks, okay? At the end, product pages are super important, and if you are running ads, these are mainly your landing pages. So as you can see in here, they have this option to like have the photos tagged. I'm pretty sure like if you go to other demos, you will see this section in a different way. They will allow you to, let's say, showcase your product media in a different way. And as you can see in here, we can see that we have the option to have color swatches as, or like the product variant as images, which is a very important feature. And also you can notice that when you are choosing one color, they are only showing the photos related to this color, I think, which is also something very nice. Okay, so you can showcase different photos depending on the variant, which is a feature I know so many of you are looking for. Like if you sell, for example, dresses, and someone selected the red color, you want them only to see the red dresses. If they select the red images, if they select the blue color, you want them only to see the images with the blue dress. So this is a very nice feature. If you scroll down, you will see in here like the tabs for specifications. I will show you how to set up this as well. And you will see here more and more like options. Even you can here add tabs. This is a very rich product page where you can add a lot of information. In here also, there is a section that I love. Maybe they don't have it in here. Let's check in the digital demo. They have a very nice feature in the product page where they allow you to compare products. It's something similar to the Amazon feel if you wish. So as you can see in here, like we have specifications, reviews. This is another way to showcase the information. In here we have more tabs. And when you scroll, you see this comparison table. This is a super nice feature. This is a very important feature, and you don't usually find this feature for free with Shopify themes. Again, I don't think there is any other Shopify theme that I know about that has this feature. So if you are looking to have like comparison tables to allow your customers to compare between different products, I highly recommend you to consider Enterprise, because these features are super important and you would need to pay monthly for an app to have them on your store, and then here you are getting them with a theme basically for free. Okay, so this was a quick tour around the enterprise theme. We will explore it more and I will show you how to set it up through this video. But again, as I said at the beginning of this video, even if you are not using the enterprise theme, even if you are still searching for the right theme for your store, this video will remain applicable because all Shopify themes work in the same way. So what you are seeing in here is basically how to customize a Shopify theme. You can take everything that you are going to learn here and apply it no matter what theme you are using. And now let's get started with setting up and customizing this theme. I know this is going to be a very long video. That's why I prepared my coffee. If you want to get your coffee and watch this entire tutorial in order to learn exactly how to set up your Shopify theme in the best way possible, this is the right moment. Go get your coffee and come back and let's get started together. So basically the first thing that I want you to do is to add the enterprise theme to Shopify store. You don't need to pay for it now. You can simply try this theme, so you can download a free trial on your Shopify store. So use the link you will find below in the description, click on it and click on try theme, and that's it. Once you download it, you will have it within your theme library. So you go to your Shopify dashboard, and from there you go to online store, and from there you will see the theme in here. Since we didn't pay for the theme yet, we can't publish it, but we can change everything on it. So we can fully customize it before buying it. From here, I want you to click on customize. And once you do that, you will be taken to the theme editor. Okay, I will be taking this super slowly because I know that many of you are complete beginners with this, and I know that these things can be a little bit tricky sometimes. But before we start customizing the theme, there is something very important that I recommend you to set up before setting up your theme. And it's actually within your Shopify dashboard. I highly recommend you to go to settings, and from there go to general, and you scroll down, and there is this section in here that's called brand assets. And I would like you to click on manage and actually fill out the informations in here. By filling the information in here, you make it easier for yourself to modify and change and customize your theme. So basically what you are adding in here are your brand main assets. So let's start. First, we have the logo. So if you add the logo in here, you will be able to simply link to it inside of your theme, and I will show you how. So I recommend you to add a logo. You can have a horizontal format, a square format, and I highly recommend you to add both of them. Then when you scroll in here, you will have the ability to add colors. I'm going just for the sake of example, choose for example this color to make it my primary, but I'm pretty sure that you have your own primary colors. You have a primary color, a secondary, and so on. Your brand should have a set of colors that you can use across your website, your social media, in order to keep the, let's say, the brand feeling consistent, and in order to make sure that your customers can recognize easily your brand. And if you look at any famous brand, you will notice that they always use consistent fonts, consistent colors, and so on. So I'm going just to add the primary color because I want to show you how you can use these assets later on your theme. I'm not going to continue and add everything, but I recommend you to do so, to add all the information in here. So you have logos, colors, a slogan, short description, and even social media links. Once you finish, you click on save. Now let's get back to our theme. So from here, online store, themes, and you click on customize. The first part of customizing any Shopify theme is by customizing the settings of the theme, by making sure that we have updated all of these settings to match what we want. Okay, so first let me just give you a quick tour around this editor so you can understand how it works. So at the beginning in here, you have this section which is called sections, and basically it's showing you the different sections that you are seeing in this page in here. And from here, you can see which page we are exploring. So we are at the home page, and these are the sections available within the home page. In here, you have the settings, which are the theme settings, and these are the things that we are going to talk about next. And in here, you have the apps. So if you are using apps and you want them to show within your theme, this is where you should be turning them on. Okay, let's start with the settings. We are going to talk later a lot about sections, how to customize the different pages, and so on. And we are going to talk also about Metafields, if this is something that you've heard about, and I will show you how to use them. So first we have the colors, and in here you are basically changing or deciding the colors of most of the sections within your store. In some cases, for some sections, you will have the ability to change the colors in there, but these cover usually most of the things that you will see in your store. So as you can see in here, you have the general colors, you have the colors for the buttons, you have a primary button and the secondary button. So the primary could be the buy now, the secondary could be the add to cart. You have in here like the ability to create schemes, okay? And in here you can create different color schemes. And schemes are basically like different combinations of how you are using your brand colors. So maybe for some sections you want the background to be light beige and the text to be black. For other sections you want the background to be black and the text to be beige. So basically that's it. Like you're playing around with your brand colors, you're mixing and matching to create different schemes in order to have like different styles of sections, but all should follow your brand guidelines in terms of colors and fonts. Don't forget that. So these are the different schemes, and as you can see, you can set up to 3. Here you have like a special, let's say, sections, colors. So you have content panels, drawers, and messages. And in here you have color blending, which is an option that you might find in some Shopify themes, but it's not that common. It basically allows you to change the background color for all of your products. So let's say, for example, your product images are all taken with a white background and you want to make the background like, let's say, a little bit beige or a little bit, for example, light yellow. You can change this from here. Okay, you can blend all of your product images in one click using this feature. Again, this is not a very common feature, and it can be super important for a store with a very large catalog. So instead of changing every image, you can basically change all of your product images or collection images in one click. Okay, let's get back a little bit to the color to show you how you can use the brand assets I asked you to enter like a few minutes ago. So in here, for example, we are choosing the color of like the background. So this is under general and we are changing the page background. It's now white and I have the heading as black, the body text as black, and so on. Let's say, just for the sake of example, I want to change this color and I want to put my brand color. Okay, so you can click in here and either enter the hex or the number of the color in here and do this every time you want to use the color. So let's say you want to change this to dark blue, you go over and you change it in every part in here. Or you can use the brand assets. So basically you click in here and you tell Shopify to use the primary color or one of the colors that you have entered at the brand asset level. This is going to save you a lot of time of typing your hex colors every time. This is going to save you a lot of time, and also it's going to make sure that you are not making any error while like typing your brand's color hexes. So I highly recommend you to set the colors in here and simply link to them. And also this is very beneficial because let's say, for example, at some point you decided to rebrand and to make your primary color as orange. Instead of going over and change it in every part in here, you can change it once at the brand assets level and it will be automatically changed in here because we've linked to it from the brand asset section. Okay, so what I recommend you to do is to go over all of these colors and choose and modify them to match your brand colors. The options you are going to see in here and how much customization you will have will highly depend on the theme you are using. As I said before, Enterprise is a very advanced theme and it offers a lot of options. In so many themes, you will not find that level of customization. Again, go over them, change them, make them like fit your brand colors, use the brand assets, and as you can see, you can always link to them from here using this icon in here. So this is for the colors. Once you finish with the colors, the second thing that you should be doing is to change the typography. And in here, basically, you're choosing the fonts of your store. And again, you should be using the same fonts that are your brand font. So first we have the heading and it's all the titles. So as you can see in colors in here, we have the ability to change the heading colors. And in here in typography, we are changing the fonts. And as you can see in here, we have several options like how we want that heading to look like. We can modify the cases, change even the scale of the text and so on. We have headings, we have body, we have the navigation. And navigation covers these items in here. So the main menu. Okay, so you need to make sure that you are choosing your font family from here. If you are using a font that you don't find in here, in this case, you might need to custom code your theme and add the font to your theme, which is something I don't recommend you to do. In this case, I recommend you to pick like the closest font to your original font. Okay, or from the beginning, choose a font that exists within Shopify library. Okay. So once you set up the typography, the next thing we have is the design, and this is related to the full design of the store. So as you can see, first we have the width of the store and like the section heights. You can decide to have them, let's say, small if you want them to be more squeezed. As you can see now, we have like reduced the spacings between the sections. In here, like you can choose like how to change, let's say, the input and buttons borders. You can even like play around with the corners, make them bigger. As you can see here, we have a small corner. And in here, you change the carousel's behavior. So how you want the carousel to behave. You have settings related to the pop-ups and drawers, text overlays, collapsible content, and breadcrumbs. If you don't know what breadcrumbs are, it's basically like when you go to a collection. Let's go to the demo store, for example. If you go to a collection, you will see the breadcrumb in here. So let me show you. Let's say, for example, we went to this product. These are the breadcrumbs, like the road that led us to this product. Okay, these are all settings that you can play around with and modify. The default options will be okay, in my opinion. You can modify them if you want, even like to improve the store more. After that, we have collection cards and product cards, and both of these are super important because they are related to how you are showcasing your collections and your products in different pages. Okay, in order to be able to visualize these, I'm going actually to my homepage, and for this section I will just select a collection. We're going over this section later on, but just like for now, so you can visually see it. So this is what we call a collection card. It's when you are showing a collection, like you are listing collections within a grid. Okay, so when you modify the settings in here, you are modifying the settings of this card. Okay, so in here, for example, we have the image ratio to be square, but obviously here it's circular. Most probably it's because within, if we go back to this section in here, most probably it's set in here to be circular. Let me see. So as you can see in here, we have decided to crop images as circles. So this is what's happening. But if we remove it, we have them as square. If we get back one moment to the settings in here and we put this, for example, as circle, it's going to make this as circle. Okay, so basically we are changing in here the general settings of the collection cards. We are still being able to modify this at the section level. We will talk about this later, but also in here we are changing the general settings. So you can decide how the image is going to fit. Is it natural or covered? So if you go to natural, the zoom might be a little bit different, as you can see, because this image was a vertical one. So it's better to choose it as covered to make sure it fits. And in here you have the image alignment and the text alignment. So now it's centered, so you can make it left, for example. And in here you decide whether you want to show the collection option or not. Okay. And here also, if you are showing like some labels, you can play around with the colors and modify them. Now, if we talk about product cards are similar to collection card, but now we are showing products instead of showing collections. So let me go back 1 second in here to the home page. Okay, I'm going back in here and I'm going to show you a featured collection so you can see how a product card will look like. So in here, I'm going to select a collection. Again, we are going to go over this later, don't worry. So this is a featured collection and this is the product card. So basically, it's when we are showing a product, like listing a product, okay? So when you click on product cards, you will see the same type of, let's say, options that we have seen for the collection cards and maybe even more options. I recommend you to play around in here to make sure like that everything is exactly like you want it to be. You can like show subtitles, show inventories, and so on. After the product cards, we have the product compare, and this is basically related to the theme we are using. Okay, you won't see this on every single theme because not all themes offer the product comparison option. So in here, like, you can modify some of these settings. And then we have the product inventory, so you can decide what's low inventory to you and what's a very low inventory. These is basically going to be used for the labels. So if you want to show a product like low in inventory or just like very low in inventory, this is where you play around with it. Okay, and you can decide when it is visible. And as you can see in here, you can even play around with the cards. Okay, so for example, this one is in stock because it have 20 units, and as you can see, the in stock is green. If I change this, for example, to red, it's going to become red. And you can change the colors for low stock and very low stock as well. Okay, so basically in here you have decided, or you have defined what's low inventory and what's very low inventory means to you. These are options that are super advanced and you don't find in other themes really. I like them and I think they are super important. Like, they make your store look much more professional. They improve a lot the user experience of the store. Okay, after that we have the product labels, and the product labels are actually these. Okay, so basically like showing labels next to your product, or even you can see them on the product cards. These are super important. Okay, they are super important. So as you can see, you have sales label, you have sold out label, and you have like the new in label, and you can define what new in means to you. So you can tag a product by new in order to make it appear in with that label or with the tag new in. And in here you have like the pre-order label, and you can even create your own custom label. And in here they are showing you how to create your own custom label. Okay, you need to create a product metafield with the namespace and key theme.label, and it will appear in here. Okay, we will cover Metafields later on in this video, so you will know how to profit from these options. Once this is done, you have the swatches, and the swatches are basically the options you will see like related to the colors. So let's see if in this demo we will see what some swatches. So these are the swatches, okay? And in here, like, you are defining what swatches you want to have. So this is the color. So they are making sure that you are putting all the options. And in here, you can choose how you want your variant to appear. Do you want to use the variant image? Do you want to use the swatch color list? Or do you want to use the Shopify own swatches? If you want to know more about this, I highly recommend you to watch this video on my YouTube channel where I talk about swatches in details. But you can keep it as variant images if you have like nice images for your products. And in here, like, you have more options related to the swatches at the product cart level and even at the filter level. So swatches will appear in three different places. They will appear actually in here on the product card. So in here you are changing the settings for the product card, and they will also appear at the filter level. So if we go to a collection, for example, they will also appear in here. So also you are changing the settings for the filters, and in here you are changing them at the variant picker. So when you go to a product page, and you are basically changing them in here. Okay, so there are 3 places, and this team is actually allowing you to have like 3 different setups for the 3 placements. Okay, and in here you define the colors. Okay, this section is super important if you are like setting the swatches at the theme level, not at Shopify level. So let's say, for example, you have a color that's different. Let's say pink red or green grayish, I'm not sure what. Okay, so you can define it in here. By default, the theme will recognize red as red, but it won't recognize something that's complicated, like a name that you have created. That's why you set them up in here. Again, swatches is a very important topic, and if you want to know how to set them up, I highly recommend you to check this other video on my YouTube channel. I can't cover swatches in here because they are pretty complicated, so I highly recommend you to check the other video once you finish watching this one. Then you will have the social media, which is related to like having your social media links in here. Then you have the search, okay? And basically you are changing in here. Okay, so by enabling the product drop-down menu, you are basically enabling this thing. Let me show you. I don't have a lot of things set up on my trial store, so we might not be able to see it in here. But as you can see, it's in here. So basically the theme will be pulling out all of your product types, and it will be showing them in here to make the search functionality easy. So if you click here on search, for example, let's say chair, it will be offering me like the different options. Okay, you have in here like predictive search. I recommend you to keep it on, and in here like you can decide how many items you want to show. And you can in here like change the search prompts. So basically what they are going to see in here, these words that they are changing. So you can change them in here, and you can even add a speech search that's only going to work on Chrome. Okay, the search feature is extremely important again for stores with huge volumes. So if this is something you are looking for, the enterprise theme has a great search bar. Okay, then you have currency format, so how you want your currency to look like. You have cart options, so how do you want your cart to look like? And this is super important, okay? In here you have two options. You can have your cart as a drawer, so let's say I'm adding this product to cart. I will have a drawer open. This is a drawer. Or you can have it as a page, so when I add the product to cart, it takes me to the cart page. I recommend you to use that drawer because it's more user-friendly and people like it better. Okay, and as you can see, like in here, you can decide what happens after adding a product to cart. And when the cart is, let's say, empty, you can choose what people are going to see. And as you can see, within the drawer, you can add related products, and they are dynamic. So you can have like products that match the original purchase, and this is extremely important because it can help you to increase your average order value. Not a lot of theme has this feature. It's extremely important because let's say, for example, I'm buying a cushion and this one goes perfectly well with it. I would like to see it recommended in here, and I can directly click on edit to cart in here. Okay, and you can change the layout between carousel or lists for the products, and you can also have the drawer shaking, like in order if people forget about like checking out. This is also nice. And in here you have the free shipping bar, and this is actually a nice feature because which indicates how far the user is always away from free shipping. Okay, so let's say it's USD, let's say 60. So now when I click on the cart, it's telling me that if I spend one additional $0.01, I will get free shipping. This is also a very nice feature, and you can set it up for different currencies. Just you need to put your minimum order for free shipping. Okay, and in here you can change the color scheme. You recall the schemes that we have set up at the color section in here. So they were the schemes in here, and also schemes are common between all Shopify themes. So it's also a functionality that you will find no matter what theme you are using. So yeah, you will find you can change your cart scheme in here. Okay, once we finish with the cart, which is a very important part, we have the animation. So if you want the theme to be like have a slightly bit animation while loading, then you have the favicon, and the favicon is the small icon you will see in here. So basically you need to select your brand favicon, and you have some advanced options related to the links and to the images. Okay, this is super important if you are looking for like SEO, if you want your store to load fast. So you can, for example, lower the image quality in order to make your website load faster. And also in here, like they have some options to add tab attention messages. These are messages that you will see on the tab in here. So basically you can add messages in here, and in here you can add custom HTML to your theme. If you are maybe for Google tags or Google ads, maybe you can use it in here, or maybe if you are changing something in the full theme. Okay, after that, what do we have? We have the custom CSS. I'm not sure how far or how much you know about CSS, but it's basically a bit of coding to change how the theme looks like. Okay, it's not changing the functionalities, it's more like changing the spacing, colors, appearance, and stuff like that. So if you are familiar with CSS and you want to change your theme CSS, now you can do this in here. Before, we used to do this within the theme codes. Not anymore, you can do it now directly from here. I will need to save in order to show you the final tab, which is the theme style. So basically the theme style is choosing between the different demos. So as you recall, we had here 3 different demos. So basically like it's your starting point. Where do you want to start first? With which demo? Remember, you can always customize and get all the features that you want, but it's like your starting point. So now that we have finished with the settings, we are going to start building up our Shopify store, and we are going to start with our home page. So back to our editor. In order to know which page you are actually editing, you can check in here. So we are changing, or we are now modifying the home page, but if you click in here, you can explore other pages on your store. Okay, the same way, or the way we are going to use to modify your homepage is going to be applicable to all other pages. But the options that you are going to find in each page are going to be slightly different depending on the page type. So let's start with the homepage first. From here, I need you to go to sections, and this is where you will start modifying the template of your store homepage. I don't need to tell you how important your homepage is. It's one of the most important pages on your store, and you need to take your time modifying and customizing it. And the first important part of this page is actually the header group. And this section in here is common between all of your store pages. That's why, as you can see, it's separated by a line. So we have the header group, we have the template, which is basically the content of the homepage. And when you scroll down, you have the overlay group and the footer group. We will start covering these sections because they are common between all the pages. Then we will go and change the homepage template. So the header is super important, and I know so many people get, let's say, confused in there, but it's basically this part in here, and it combines everything: the announcement, the menu, and in our case in here, the promo strip. So the announcement bar is this bar in here, and it's announcement bar. So you need to use it whenever you want to announce something special. Maybe you have a special Christmas thing, or maybe you are doing a special discount. So this is where you announce it. And when you click on it, when you click on the section, you can like add links if you wish to this section. You can show country, you can modify the styles and the colors, and under it you will find the messages. So what are going to people to see in this announcement bar? So this is your first welcome message, and so on. Okay, you can add up to 3 messages, or you can only keep 2, for example. It's really up to you. Okay, and you can modify the message from here. Okay, so this is the announcement bar. After this, we have the header. Okay, and this is a super important section. It's super important because it's the section where your customers are going to explore what you sell. So it's not only important from a design point of view, it's very important from a functionality point of view. Okay, when you click on the header itself, you will see the options available for this theme. So first you have the layout. Do you want it to be sticky header? So now, like for example, it's sticky, like it stays, the search bar stays, or not? How do you want it to look on mobile? So if you are on mobile, do you want the icons to be left or right? Okay, so these are the general layout settings. And in here, you start building up your header. So first you can put the logo text if you want to have a text in here, or you can have like the default logo image if you have a logo. You can make the logo bigger or smaller in here, like change it, and you can define whether it is H1 or not. This is gonna make sense for people who care about SEO. H1 is basically the most important text on your store, so Google will define what your store sells based on this one. So it's important like to make sure that it has like the main keyword of your store. And in here you can choose to center logo on large screens if like some people have large screens, so you can center it. I will actually keep it on the left. And in here you have some options related to search, so you can enable or disable search, or you can keep it. Okay, and you can minimize it or maximize it on mobile. So if we go to mobile, for example, it's now maximized. If we turn it on, it will be minimized like this. Okay, so it's really up to you. And here we start with the navigation, which mainly is this one. And this is super important. Your navigation menu is a super important thing on your store because, again, this is how your customers are going to explore what you sell. Okay, so for this tutorial, I'm setting up a home decor store. So I will show you how to set up the navigation and how to edit in here. In order to set up navigation from your Shopify, in order to set up your navigation menu, which is the one you are going to show in here, you need to go in here to your online store and you go to a navigation section. But before doing this, you should have all of your collections built up. So if you go now to products and to my collections, you will see that under collections, I have created several collections. What I'm going to do is I'm going to link to them in my navigation. So let's get back to online store, navigation. And I already have a main menu navigation, but I will create a new one to show you how to like select it from the theme. So click on create a menu and let's call it RS main menu. Okay, after naming it, we need to start adding items on it. So I'm selling home decor and I'm thinking about like having a shop tab. So I will call it shop. And I don't want this one to link to any place. So I will put this symbol so it doesn't link. And I will add a label below it, which is shop by room. Also, I don't want this one to be clickable, so I'm going to click like this. If this doesn't make sense, just wait a little bit. I will explain it more. So this is going to be under shop. I just drag it. So as you can see now, I have a 2 levels menu. Okay, then I will have like bedroom. So basically I'm allowing them to explore my products by room. And in here, I'm going actually to link to my collection, which is the bedroom collection. Then I will add a new one, which is, let's say, kids room. And in here, I will link to my kids room collection. And I will do the same for my third one. Let's say, for example, it's now living room. And in here, I will link to my living room collection. Okay, but I need to make them under this one. So it's like a 3 levels menu. So I will drag like this. Then I will move this in here. And I will move this in here. So as you can see, now I have a 3 levels menu. I have shop, shop by room. Then I have all of these options under shop by room. I will create another set. So let's say shop by product type. I will make this unclickable, so like this. Just let me, okay. And I will click on OK. And under it, I will add, like, let's say, cushions. I will select my cushions collection. And I will drag it so it's under the shop. And I will drag it so it's under the shop by product, but I need to move it to the right. So it's an item within the shop by product. And in here, I can add more things. So let's see what other collections do I have. I have candles. And also I can in here go to collections and choose, for example, accessories. When you choose a collection before naming it, the label will come automatically as the collection name. So this might be easier. Okay, so now I have shop. And as you can see under shop, I have shop by room. And under shop by room, I have these options. Then I have shop by product, and under shop by product, I have these options. Okay, now the next one, I will make, for example, just rooms, just to show you the difference. And in this case, I will also make it unclickable. And I will add my rooms below it one more time. So I will go collections, home office. And I will drag them like this, so they are a second level to my main menu. Okay, and I will click on save. So basically now I have 2 menu items. I have shop and I have rooms. Let's add, for example, contact us. Assuming we have a page like this. Let's see if we have one. I don't think we do. So we have one, okay. And let's add, for example, one which is about us, if we have a page, and that's it. Okay, for sure your navigation menu will be as complicated as you can be, as complicated as you want, depending on how many products you sell and your niche and so on. Okay, now going back in here, again to our navigation. So now it's linked to the main menu. Now I want to replace it and I want to choose the menu that I have just created. And as you can see, we have shop, and under shop we have shop by room and shop by product type. If I click in here, it will open my options, and same in here. For rooms, we have these options. But I promise you, we're gonna make this look way, way better in a few seconds. Okay, in addition to this, in here you can decide to have a featured link. So let's say you put the contact us here as featured, it's going to change color. So you will see that this tab now has a different color. In this case, like if you have a sale or something, you can choose it as a featured link. You can also have a quick links menu. So if we select like just the old main menu as an example, it's going to appear in here. So if you have, let's say, less important things to show, you can show them in the quick link menu. And you can also have like a call to action, a call us, like if you add a link, they can call you, and you can change the settings like the colors and the styles of the menu from here as well. Okay, once this is done, you have your header set up, but now we want to make it fancier. So this is where the theme you are going to or you are using is going to play a big role. When you check the enterprise theme, you will notice that they have so many different types of, let's say, menus within the same demo. And this is exactly what we can do. So let's go back in here. Let's click on add block. And in here, you can notice that we have 3 different types of menus. Again, this is an option that you don't usually find in other Shopify themes, but this theme is so advanced to the point like they have so many options. I'm always surprised with the options they have. But in here we have 3 different type of menus. And these are the things that we call mega menus and stuff like that. Again, if you have a big store with a lot of products, this is going to be super important to you. Super, super important. So I will go with the column mega menu. So when you choose this one, you click on it. And basically you just need to tell Shopify which tab is going to have this style. So as you can see, I put shop. So now I have shop as a column 1. Okay, and in here you can modify the settings of this tab. You can even add promotions. So you can in here select an image, just so I can show you, and like add a special promotion, even add a tax, even add a URL. You can have up to 3 promotions. You can add badges. You can go as fancy as you want. So this is the first type of mega menu style. Let's try another one actually, because I like the one with the sidebar. So let's go with this one. And again, you just need to type the name of your tab in here. And as you can see now, I have this one. This is a super nice mega menu style. I like this style a lot, and I think it works pretty well for my home decor niche. So I'm gonna keep it. And again, you can go in here and modify the settings, add badges, whatever you want. Okay, once this is done, I will do the same actually for my second tab. So I'm going to add sidebar menu, and I will type in here rooms. So now rooms is like this. I don't have anything below it. That's why I don't see the options. And by the way, I told you there is a third type. So if I remove this one, there is actually a third type, which is the button mega menu. So if I go in here and type rooms, this is the third type. Okay, you can play around and choose the ones that you like. I think this one is amazing actually. So once you set up your mega menus, next we have the promotion strip in here, which is also a very nice feature, and it's pretty unique, I think, to enterprise. I'm not sure, but I'm very positive that you don't find it on other themes, at least not that frequently. In here, you can basically like add a promotion and add the coupon code. This is a super, super important feature. Let's say you are doing a Black Friday sale and you want the sale to be easily accessible on your homepage, or you are doing a special Mother's Day coupon code. They can simply like copy the coupon code in here and use it. Okay, they can simply copy the coupon code from here and use it. So we are finished with the header section. You can click on add section and see what other like different options they give you. They have also scrolling banners. So if you want to add a scrolling banner that's common between all of your store pages, you can set it up in here. You have like icon with text. So if you want to have a section like this one in here, you can also have it depending on your store. And you can also have like custom HTML if you would need it. And you have the promo strip, which is the one we've used. Okay, so basically we are finished with the header section, and as you can see, you can modify a lot in here. Again, the most important part is to have your navigation menu set up properly and to use drop-down menus. The mega menus, they are super important. And let's preview how they look actually on mobile. So if you go in here and we go to the shop, as you can see, it's also super nice, super user-friendly. It showcases the collections in a very nice way. Okay, once we are finished with the header, we are going to move to the second section, which is coming between all of your store pages, and it is your overlay group. So this is related to everything that's going to overlay your page. So for example, the cart drawer, do you remember when we talked about the cart drawer? So this is the cart drawer. So in here we are opening the cart, but it's basically what you are going to see when you add a product to cart. So if we go in here, we add this product to cart. So this is the cart drawer. Okay, and when you change the settings in here, you are basically changing the setting of this one. Also, it's for the product comparison, because the product comparison will look like an overlay. So you can modify their settings from here. You click, you modify the settings, and you can add like promotion. You have a lot of options that you can like modify in here. Just go over them one by one and modify them to match what you have in mind. Okay, this is for the product compare if you want to change anything. And let's say, what else do we have? You can also add another section if you want to add a pop-up or an age verification pop-up. So let's say you sell something related to tobaccos or alcohol or something that's age limited, you can have an age verification pop-up. Also, this is something that's going to save you money, because in so many themes this option is not available, so you need to like use an app or something to show the pop-up. In here it's already embedded. Okay, then we have the footer group. So this is related to this part in here, the footer, and it's also common between all of your pages. So as you can see, you have the icon in here, the icon with text. So these are very nice. Let's say this is a very nice feature that will allow you to show, for example, your shipping, your returns policy, your warranties, so you can definitely use it. And then you have the footer, which is the main footer in here. So you can like have a menu in here, you can select a menu, you can modify it, you can even like add menus in here. So as you can see in here, we have 2 menus, you can modify them, 2 links, and in here you can even add a section if you want. Okay, I usually don't like to keep the newsletter in here. I don't think it's necessary, because I usually add a pop-up for the store, but you can keep it. Okay, once this is done, we move on to modifying the home page. Okay, so we are in the home page again, and in here we can see all the sections of the home page. Do you see how the cart was like shaking? This is the option that we have talked about at the beginning when we were exploring the settings. So let's go back in here and let's start with the first section. And it's actually the same section that you are going to use for any store. It's like a slideshow with an image and some buttons. Okay, so this is the section. When you click on it in here, you will be able to modify the settings of the full slideshow. And as you can see in here, you have like the image height. You can define the image height of your full slideshow. Do you want it to be the same as search image, or fixed height, or full screen height? I like to have it fixed as a fixed height, so I make sure that all my slides look nice, but it's really up to you. Okay, and in here you can modify like the fixed height, and you can like show text below images on mobile if you want. So if you put it like this and you preview on mobile, you will have the text below it. If you turn it on, you will have the text above. Okay, in here you have like some things related to like how you want these to look like, the navigation within the slideshow. So do you want to have dots or arrows? I like dots actually. You can decide the transition, so slide and fade, it's going to slide and fade. And you can modify some other things related to the settings. Okay, let's start by setting up our first slideshow. So you click on it. And the first thing that you need to select is the image. And as you can see, you are allowed to choose an image for desktop that's different than mobile, which is important because in some cases, when the text overlays with the image, it doesn't look nice on mobile. So by having the option of having different images between devices, you can make sure that you are picking a photo that works for mobile, because usually the photo that is going to work for mobile is going to be different than the photo that works for desktop. Okay, desktop is horizontal, mobile is vertical. I'm going to select an image. So let's say this one. Okay, and this is my image. If I select a different one for mobile, let's say I'm going with a vertical one for mobile, let's say this one. So as you can see, this is on desktop. When I go to mobile, it's going to be a totally different image. Okay, and there is a slight overlay over the image. So basically the text is contrasting well, but in case. Okay, in here, like you can add an image, a link for the image, and in here you can change the text overlay. So what you want to show in here, you have subheading, heading, and so on, a text, and you have like the buttons. You can add 2 buttons or only 1, and you can choose the style of the button. As you recall, at the settings, we have like talked about primary and secondary button. This is where you use them basically. And in here you have the countdowner in case you want to add a countdowner to your slider. Okay, so in the same way, you can set up as much slideshows as you want. Now let's see actually how we can have something similar to what we have seen on the demo store, which is the search in here. I think this is a different type of sections. So let's go in here and click on plus. I don't want to add a block in here. I will be adding a block. What I want to add is a section. So I need to go a little bit far away and click on add a section. And in here, I can explore the different type of sections they have, all the sections that I can add to a home page. And this is where you need to take your time into making sure that this theme has all the sections that you want. The more professional and advanced the theme that you are using, the more sections you will find in here. So these are featured collections, featured products, collection lists. We are going to go over some of these sections for sure. We can't cover all because there are a lot of them, but the more you scroll, the more options you will find. So as you can see, you have scrolling banners, shoppable images, testimonials, and so on. The section that I wanted to show you is the navigation slideshow, and this is a very important section because it allows customers to easily explore your collections. So if you have a large catalog, again, this is going to be super beneficial for you, and you can have different menus with different slideshows, and you can as well have different slideshows. So after setting up your first slideshow or the slideshow at the beginning, you start by, let's say, building up the remaining parts of your Shopify homepage. Okay, and in here, for example, they have a collection list section. I usually like to start by having either a logo list showing, for example, my brand unique selling propositions, or maybe, for example, showing a featured in collection, then to list my bestsellers, then to list my collections. So I'm going to start then by adding a section, which is the logo list. I'm pretty sure they have it. So it's this one. So basically what I can be putting in here are like my main unique selling propositions. If you click in here, you can change the settings of this section, and you can like start adding in here, adding small images. So maybe you add, for example, handmade, free shipping, and stuff like this, and you can even like add a text. So this is a section that I like to have, and it's very easy to modify. After this, I like to feature my bestseller collection. So what I would need is a section called featured collection. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in here. Featured collection. This is this one. I can move it up, put it in here. So basically, all what I need to do is to choose a collection to feature. Now, this could be, for example, our bestsellers. And again, you can modify everything about this, this section from here. You can choose the collection. You can change the layout. So do you want it to be grid? So now it's grid. It's listing the products. It's grid. Or do you want it to be as a carousel? And you can decide how many products you want to show. And you can even add a promotion card in here. So let's say, as an example, I'm adding this one. So now I have a promotion, and I can modify the text and so on. Or you can turn it off like this and hide it. Okay, promotional cards are very nice, especially if you want to tell them something special about this collection. Let's say it's limited edition or something like this. Okay, after the featured collection, you can go with the collection list section. So in here, basically, you are listing your collections. And we have talked about how to modify the collection cards. All you need to do in here is to modify a little bit the settings and the styling. Then you start linking your collections from here. So I will select my collections one after the other. This one, let's say. Okay, so as you can see, all my images are fitting properly in here because in this option in here, I chose the image to fit, and I did that in here in settings, in collection cards, and I choose cover. If I choose natural, they will look very weird. Okay, I chose cover, so I make sure that they look professional and they look say good in all places. Okay, so this is the collection list section. You can continue exploring these sections, and the same way that we have modified these 3 sections will apply to all of these sections. I will just click plus in here to show you the different options that you have, and if we find any special section, we can definitely test it out. So they have the featured collection. We have used this one. We have the featured product, and it's basically showcasing one of your products. I usually don't do this unless like it's a one product store. This is the collection list section and we have used it. This is a rich text section and it's a very nice section if you want like to insert some text in here, talk about a brand or something like this. And it's also very easy to use and very easy to modify. And then when you click on plus, you have image banner. If you want, it's similar to the slideshow, but it's one image. You have slideshow, email sign up, contact form. If you want to add a video, you have the option, blog post, custom HTML, let's see, collapsible content. This could be very nice if you want to add a frequently asked questions section. So basically you add this section in here. And as you can see, it's like a section of questions and answers. So you have the first title, category, then you have the question and the answer. Okay, so this is, you can add also additional questions if you want, or you add additional categories. This is a very nice section. You can use it here, or you can even use it on your product page. Going back again in here, you have the countdown timer, which is a super important section if you are doing a sale. Again, you just need to add it, and in here you modify it, you modify the style. And when you go to the countdown itself in here, in here, you can modify like when it ends. So you put the end date and like and time if you wish, and you can add some text. Okay. What other sections? You have also like the logo list. We have used it. You have the media grid if you want like to show different images. It's similar to what we have seen, I think, in here. Yes. And let me just show you one thing. So if we add the media grid, for example, you can see that you can have like different heading for each section. You add the text, you add like the text overlay if you want, you add the overlay style and so on. So if you continue scrolling, you will find more and more sections like product list, product promo grid if you want to have promotions. So it's basically like similar to the gallery, but it allows you to add like these small text in here, so these overlay text in here, and you can modify all of this. So you click here on media and you modify like the colors, the content and everything. You have also the media with text section, so you might use this one, for example, if you want to add a section talking about the brand. So you will have this section, you enter the image in here like this, for example, and you can add a text in here, and like even you can link to a video and so on. Okay, in addition to this section, you have also the multi-column section. You have shoppable images if you want like to link to different products. So if you're doing, for example, shop the look, let me show you. So you click here on shoppable image. You're basically linking to different products in here. So let's select an image. Let's say this one. And you can change the layout between left and right and change for sure the text. Then under it, you will like change the hotspots. So this is a section that's super important for like shop the look or for cross-selling and for showcasing how your different products go together. It could be very nice and very actually important in order to increase your average order value. So let's say, for example, you sell matching items, a cushion with for example, a cover. Okay, so you can showcase this within an image and your customers can directly go click and go to the product and purchase it as well. After setting up your Shopify homepage, your next step is to set up your collection pages. And usually in there is not much to do, especially if you are using like a basic theme or a less advanced theme than the theme that you are using. But the enterprise theme is very good when it comes to collection pages because it offers so many options and let's say customizations that you don't find in other themes. So from your Shopify editor, I need you to go to default collection, and in here you will be modifying the default collection page. By default, this layout, this template is going to be applied to all of your collections. If you want to have like different layouts between your collections, you would need to create different templates. And it's a very large topic that I can't cover in this video, but if you want to know more about templates, how to create them and so on, I highly recommend you to check this video on my YouTube channel where I talk in details about this. So again, we are changing the default template, and as you can see in here, the template is pretty simple. We have the collection banner, which is mainly an image with text next to it, and we have the collection products. So starting by the banner, you can in here like decide whether you want to show or hide the collection table, title. You can here choose like to change the collection image. Now it's very high, so I'm going actually to make it a little bit smaller. So maybe we go with square. So now it's like this. So if you have description, it should also appear in here, I think, in the banner. Now after like modifying this section, there is like few things that you can do in here. Our next thing is actually to modify the collection products. This is an empty collection. I'm going actually to go to my cushion collections because in there I have many products. So again, I have the collection with the image, and if you scroll down, you will have the product listed. Well, concerning this banner, you can hide it if you wish. You don't need to show it, and you can replace it with something else. Maybe you want to add any type of sections. You can click on add section, and from here add the sections that you want and modify them in the same way that we have modified the sections on the home page. But for sure, it's very essential to keep things clear in here because this is a collection page. I went to this page because I want to buy the products. So if you want to add something in here, make it simple, nothing complicated. Okay, now let's talk about this section, which is the most important section on a collection page, and it is the collection products. And as you can see, this section is basically divided into, let's say, several things. First, we have the filters, which allows us to filter products by color and types and so on. Then we have the sort by, and we have the compare feature, which is again a feature dedicated to the enterprise. And then we have the compare feature, and we have the view as, whether you want to see them listed or square. Let's click on the collection products and see what do we have as options. So first we can change the layout. So how many products we want to show by page, the size, and so on. And then here you can modify the toolbar. So if you want to allow them to see it as listed or as lists or not. And then here you modify everything related to the filters. So you can disable filters if you want, which is something I don't recommend you to do. It's super important to have filters. And in here you can open filter by default or not on large screens. And you can stick on scroll on large screens, like some modifications related to the appearance of the filter. Well, filters now on Shopify are set up using an app called Search and Discovery app. Okay, and you can set them up either using product types or Metafields and so on. If you want to know more about filters, this is also a very big topic, so I highly recommend you to check this video where I talk in details about filters. I will be linking to all of these videos below in the description in case you want to check them out. But again, having a theme that supports filters is super important, especially when it comes to swatches and so on. Okay, in addition to the filters in here, basically like we have some settings related to the sorting, and that's it. But inside of this collection products, we can also add something. So when you click on add product, you can add a wide promotion. So when you click on add block, you can add a wide promotion, a media promotion, a card promotion, or a filter promotion. So if we add a filter promotion, the promotion is going to show in here. So you can click on it, and in here you show your promotion. If you want to add, for example, a wide promotion, let's try it out. It's going to be a wide promotion at the beginning of the collection. Also, you can add a media promotion, so it's going to appear between the products. And finally, you can add a card promotion. So it's gonna be like this. So basically in here you can add a button, and it's a little bit different than the promotion text. Promotions are super important if you want to highlight something, if you want to like lead your store visitors toward a certain offer that you have, or maybe for example, you have bundles and this is the single products collection page and you want to tell them that you have bundles. These are very nice sections or very nice places to showcase your promotions and the savings that they will get. Now in here, if you want to activate the compare ad, you need to put it as activated. In this section here, in the overlay group, this is where you change the compare settings. Basically, you need to go to settings, and under settings, there is a compare product settings. it should be in here. This is the one. And in here, you modify this, like the settings of this one. Now, let's say, for example, I'm gonna compare two products to show you how this works. So I'm comparing this one and this one. And when I click on compare, it's going to ask me if I want to compare now. I will click on compare. And as you can see, I will see this table with these information in here. So as you can see, I have the featured image, I have the vendor, I have the title, the price, the description, and the variance. And I can add to this section in here other fields if I want to compare different things. So let me click in here. I can add type, I can add weight, I can add rating, and also I can add meta fields. So if I want to add something that is not available, I can add it in here. As you can see, it's here giving you the instructions of how to add it, and it's not complicated at all. So include a list of labels and product meta fields keys below, separated by a colon, one per line, like this. So let me create a meta field to show you actually how this works. So going back in here, you go to settings and you go to custom data. And this is the first time that we're doing this through this tutorial, so focus on it. So through this section here in custom data, you can create new fields within your products. Let me show you. By default, when you go to a product on Shopify in here, you have like some fields to fill. You have the title, the description, you have the images, and when you scroll down, you will have pricing, inventories, shipping, variance, and you have in here some category meta fields, and that's it. Remember, that's what we had. Now let's say I want to add something new. I want to add an identity to this product, or maybe I want to add, for example, a dimensions meta field, or something that doesn't exist within the category meta fields. These are meta fields that were generated by default by Shopify based on the category in here. Okay, so Shopify by default estimated that these meta fields should be here, but we can create more of them if these are not enough. We click on settings, you go to custom data, you go to products, and let's say I want to add to this compare table, I want to add a field that's in addition to those. I want maybe to add, let's say, dimensions. So I will add definition, I will call it dimensions, and I will copy this key because I'm going to use it. And for the type, I will choose like single line type. I will click on save. So when I go now to my product page and it refreshes, you will see that in here a new section was created. It's called product meta fields, and I can see the meta fields, the meta field that I have just created in here, and I can fill it for each of my products. So I will go back in here first, and I will put in here, for example, dimensions as per their instructions, and I will paste my meta field. Okay, I will go back in here for these two products. I want to fill this field exactly. So I will go back in here and I will go to my products. I will choose this one and this one and click on, I'm not sure if you know how to do bulk edits, but now we're going to do it. So we're going to learn it. I will click on bulk edit and I will actually in here under columns choose to see my dimensions meta field. This is a very nice way to modify products in bulk. So now I have it, I should have it somewhere here. It's this one, and I will enter it. So I will call it here just dimensions 1, and this one dimensions 2. I will click on save. Now when I go back to any of these products, just to show you, and you scroll down, you will see that this field is now filled. So let's go back in here, let's click on save. And let's go back to our cushion collection page. And I will be comparing now. So let me open the compare and I will compare these two. I will click on compare and compare now. And as you can see now, I have the dimensions in here. I'm comparing the two dimensions. So in addition to the default, let's say things that you will find within the comparison in here, you can add your own meta fields, and you can add more meta fields just by adding more and more lines in here. So you create a meta field, you copy the key, you put the label, this is the label, and this is the meta field content. So you can adjust this comparison table to work exactly to your niche or to your products. When it comes to the layout of the collection page, you can build up sections in the same way that we have built up the sections for the homepage. The only difference in here is that you might want like some of your collection page content to be different from one collection to another. So let's say, for example, for one collection, you want an image at the beginning that's different than another image on another collection page. This is where you can use Metafields. Let me show you. So you click on add section, and let's say we're gonna add like a media with text, okay? The same thing that I'm going to do now will apply no matter what section you are going to use. So as you can see, when you add any section on a collection page or on a product page, so when you click here on media with text, when you are filling the content of the section, you can either select the image directly. If you do that, this image is going to be common between all of the collection pages, okay? It's going to be seen on all of your collection pages. But I don't want to do this. I want this image to be unique and different from one collection page to another. So basically what you need to do is you need to remove it. And instead of selecting a static image, you need to click on connect a dynamic source. And this time we need to create a new metafield. But this time it's going to be a metafield at the collection level. So going back in here to the settings, you go to custom data, you go to collections, and you click on add definition. And I'm going to call it image 1, let's say. And for type, it's going to be file. And you can keep it as images or videos. It really doesn't matter. Now, when you go back to your collection pages, you will see that a new section was created, and this section, like in here, has like the image metafield. I can in here select an image. Let's say I selected this one. Now I can go to another collection in here, let's say accessories. And when I scroll down, I can select another image, let's say this one, and click on save. So basically I created a new field within my collection page, which is the image, and I made this field unique per collection. Now, when I go back in here, what I need to do is I need to click on select source, and I will pick the meta field that I have just created. And as you can see now, it's showing this page. But if I preview another collection, it will show the other page. So if I go in here to shop by type, to accessories, you will see that I'm seeing a different image. Okay, you can do the same thing with all the content of this section. So you can have all of these as metafields. When you click, for example, on the title, you can see that it allows you to connect to a dynamic source. So this time you need to create a metafield, but you need the type to be single line because this is a text and it's a title. When you do the description, you need also to connect to a dynamic metafield, but this time you need this dynamic metafield to be rich text because it's a rich text metafield. Also, metafields is a very complicated topic and it needs a tutorial by itself. There are so many tutorials on this YouTube channel about metafields that you can check them out, and I really think that you should be doubling down on using metafields in order to improve your store. Okay, when you work with a professional theme like the one that we are working with, it will allow you to make all of your sections, almost all of your sections, customizable. So as you can see, all of the elements we are seeing in here, every single one is like can be connected to a dynamic source. And this is going to help you a lot into making your collection pages unique, your product pages unique, into providing more information across your store, and thus give your customers more information in order to convert more and make more sales. So I highly recommend you to understand metafields. If you are going to use Shopify and if you want your store to be highly converting, to be a very good Shopify store, to provide good information in a good way, you must learn metafields and you must understand how to use them and how to combine the power of metafields with the power of your theme to have a very well optimized Shopify store. So this is for the collection pages. When it comes to the product pages, it's similar in so many ways. So now we are going to the product pages and I'm going to show you how to modify these pages and how to customize them as well. So now we are going to talk about your Shopify product pages, and I can't insist enough on how important these pages are. Okay, especially if you are running Facebook ads and you are driving, or Google ads, and you are driving people directly toward your product pages, you should be doing a lot of work there in order to make sure that your product pages are as good as possible. So from your editor, again, you go in here to your product and you go to default product. Again, I'm not gonna talk about product page templates. It's a very big topic, but again, you can create different layouts to your products depending on your product type, for example. So let's say, for example, you sell bags and shoes. You can have different page templates, different product page templates between your bags and your shoes using templates. If you want to know more about this, Again, check the video you will find in the description. It will tell you everything. It will show you everything you need to know about templates and how to use them and how to set them up. Okay, now we are going to work on the default product page template, which is by default is, let's say, applied to all of your products. So in here, you will see that we have like the normal section, which is the first one, which is the product info. And this is a very important section because this is where your customers are going to land first. This is where they are going to check the product. So by default, when you click on the product section here, you will see like some options related to the general layout. So stick products into a scroll. So if you have more information in here, like you see the scroll, select the first available variant as an option. Add sticky to cart, we will keep it. So in this case, the add to cart is going to be sticky. And in here, you can modify some stuff about the media. So for example, in here, we have them as slider. We can have them as stacked. So they will be above each other like this. We can change the media width, the media aspect ratio. You can keep it natural, for example, or you can make it square. And in here, like you can decide whether you want to crop the media or not. So do you crop it center? I would go crop it center so they look all nice. And in here you can enable or disable zoom. I'm gonna disable it just because it's annoying to me. So I'm gonna disable it. And in here for the stacked layout, you can modify some settings, and for the slider layout as well. Okay, I'm going to go with actually like the slider layout because this is the most common one. And I will discuss this with you in a few seconds. Okay, so these are like different settings that you can play around with and so on. After that, you have the vendor, whether you want to show the vendor or not. It actually depends on your business and what you are selling. If you are selling other brands, you might need to keep the vendor showing. I will hide it. And then here you have the product labels, and these are the labels that we have set up in here. Do you recall we talked about labels in here? So the out of stock labels and stuff like that, they are in here. So if we have any label that's applicable, we will see it in here. So if you go, for example, to this one, I'm pretty sure we will find some labels. So these are the labels we are talking about. These are the labels that you should have set them up at this level in here. So if we have any labels, they will show, and I highly recommend you to keep them. So in here, for example, you see the new, the sale, even this one is, I think, custom, so you can add them. Okay, then we have the title. We can't change much about the title. We have the price, we need to keep it. We have a divider, which is the line, and we have variant pickers in case we have like different, let's say, variant or swatches. I'm gonna actually hide it because I don't have any, and I will also hide this divider. Okay, then I have buy button. I have like these two messages. I have, if I scroll, the care information and the delivery and shipping. Let me add the description because I always think it's weird that there is no description. So basically I will scroll, I will add description, and I will move it up next to the price. Now, in case you have a very long description and you don't want to include a full description in here, what you can do is that we can add a rich text actually section, move it up in here, okay? And basically have the small description in here. But this description will be different from one product to another. And every time we have this contrast, we have this constraint, let's say, and every time we want to achieve something that's dynamic and different than one product to another, we need to use Metafields. So we have a problem that our description is too long, but you want a small one in here instead of the long one. Okay, we will keep the long one for the tab in here, and we will create a small description in here. So I've created the rich text. I will actually create a metafield, but this time I'm going to create a product metafield. So I'm gonna click on add metafield, and as you can see, it's a product metafield. I will call it small description, and in here I will select the type as rich text and click on save. So for this product, I will actually go and fill this metafield. So if you go to this product in here, this is basically the first part is the normal description. Let's consider it as a long one, so I'm gonna make the text bigger. But let me scroll down, and in here under metafields again, I will go and enter my small metafield, and it's a rich text metafield, so I can add things in bold. Save. Now when I go back in here, I will select my metafield, and as you can see, it will be populated in here. So I will actually remove the description and just keep my small description. So now I have the small description in here, and I have the, let me save, I should have the large one in here. And I have the long one in here. Okay, you can use this whether you want to have a description, a small description, or bullet points about the product and so on. It's a very nice way to like have a short section where you show the benefits and key features of the product. Okay, after that you have the buy buttons. You don't need to modify anything about them, and you have these two, let's say these two messages. Okay, also those you can make them dynamic in the same way that we have created this meta field. You create a meta field in here, which is a rich text, and you select it in here, you link to it in here. So these messages are very nice because like you can add something, very dedicated messages to each of your products, and you can make them also dynamic using Metafields. So you can make these messages different between your products using Metafields. So all you need to do is to create the Metafield and to link to it in here and to fill it in here in the product page. We will talk about this section in a second. We have also in here the care information, the delivery and shipping, and we have the share. The care information is practically a tab where we put the care information about this product. Now again, if you want to have different care information between your products, you need to use Metafields. So you need to create a Metafield for the care and link to it in here. Okay, then we have the delivery and shipping, we have the share, we have the, if you want like to add a message in here, you can add it using this section. And if you click in here, you can add more and more blocks. As you can see, you can have product sign-ups. So if a product is out of stock and you want them to sign up in order to receive it, you can have it. You can also add things like product rating. You can add complementary products. So in this case, like they would be recommending a product to this one. Also, in order to set up complementary product, which is basically like something like this one. So this is what you are going to see. In order to set complementary products, you need to use the search and discovery app. And with this app, you can recommend the right products, or you can actually choose what to recommend to each of your products. When it comes to product recommendations, there is also a video on this YouTube channel where I talk in details about it. I will link to it below in the description. This is a very important thing that you should set up because it will help you to increase your average order value and thus make more sales and more profits. So if you have your app set up and if you have like set up your complementary products, you will be able to see your complementary product in here because we have added it in here. So it's going to look like this one. Okay, there are other things that you can add like inventory levels, like stuff like that, flash message, and so on. So if you go add the inventory status, remember when we were doing the settings in here, there was an inventory settings. We decided what's low and what's very low. So if we go for this one and put like low is 29, it will tell us now that it's low in stock. Okay, let's get back to here. That's basically it for this section. Now let's talk about this part in here. And in order to modify this part, you need to go to the product details. Also, again, this type of page layout is not very common between Shopify product pages. Not all themes will allow you to have that much information in this area. Okay, so under product details, as you can see, you have the highlight section. You can even add another highlight, so like this. So if you put them one next to another, they will be divided, so you can highlight like some information about this product. Again, when you click on it, you can make everything in this section unique per product using Metafields. So you remove this content, you create a Metafield, you call it, for example, highlight text 1, and you link to it in here. Same for highlight text description. Or if they are common between all of your pages, you can write them directly in here. Okay, so highlights, then we have the tabs. When you click on the tabs, you will see that you have like the description tab, you have the review tab, and you have the specifications tab. The specification tab is going to look something like this, okay? Also, again, basically, these are all powered by Metafields, okay? If this is something that you are interested about, just leave a comment below and I can tell you how to set it up, but this is also unique by the enterprise team. You simply create Metafields. Do you recall how we've put the custom key of the Metafield? We put it in here as well. Okay, and in here, for example, you can even add a custom tab. You have 1, 2, 3 tabs that you can add, and you can make all of these fields dynamic using Metafields again. Okay, and if you have something that's common between all of your product pages, you can simply create a tab. So let's call it, for example, just trial tab. and include the information in here, for example, so it will look and be common between all of your pages. Okay, after that you have payment and security. If you want to add this section, you can add it, like to just to create more authenticity and trust, I think. And basically that's it. So this is concerning this part in here. Again, this is so related to the theme that you are using. Not all themes provide that much information. See, in the demo store, that's what you can get. You can get a section as rich as this one, okay? With everything being unique by product using Metafields. Okay, after that you have other sections that you can set up with the same logic that you have set up the other sections. So this is, for example, product features and so on. I will talk a little bit about the product comparison grid because it's a very unique section and it's super important. And basically using this grid, you can compare between different products. So let's say I'm checking this cushion and I want to compare between these cushions and other cushions in the store. So what I need to do is I need to go to this section, which is product comparison grid in here. And I need to start setting it up. So first I have the title and the description. You can modify them. But the most important thing is actually to select the products in here. You can either select the products directly in here. So basically you go and select what products you will see in this section. Okay. But the downside of this one is that these products are going to be common, or this comparison table is going to be the same between all of your products. But let's say you want to compare different products depending on what products we are on. So let's say I'm on the blue cushion. I want to compare cushions that fit with it. Okay. So what I need to do in this case is to again create a metafield. But this time it's going to be a special type of metafields. It's called product lists. So let me show you. You click here on the dynamic source and you click on add metafield. Let me save before. So you click on this one and you click on add metafield. And this time I'm going to call it product comparison. I think there is additional A, yes. And in here for the type, I will choose product and I will choose a list because I want to select multiple products, and I will click on save. Now, when I go to my product page in here, you will notice, let me refresh. So when I go to this product, now I will notice that under Metafields, I have a new metafield, which is a product comparison. I will click on it and I will select the products that I want to compare. So I want this one, let's say this one, or just I want this one and this one and this one. So basically I'm comparing all the rectangular cushions together, and I will click on add and I will click on save. If I go to another product, let's say to this one, I can select in here different products to compare. So I'm going to go in here and choose different products. Going back to my theme in here, for the product comparison section, which is in here, again, you click on the product comparison section. And for the layout, instead of selecting the products, you're going to select a metafield, and now it's showing the one that we have created. And it's loading the 3 cushions that I have selected. If I change this, if instead of previewing this one, I preview, for example, the other cushion that I have changed. So let's say this one. And you scroll down, you will see in here that I'm previewing different products, okay? Because I've set up this information at the product level using Metafields. Okay, let me get back to my blue cushion. So yeah, going back to the comparison table, so we've changed the products and make them unique. Now we need to modify the table. You just need to go down and in here, and you can change the information from here. For the description, you can make it smaller like this, so it doesn't take a lot of space. And you can also add a metafield in the same way that we have added metafields in the collection comparison table. Same thing, you just click on add metafield and you enter the metafield namespace and key in here. Okay, and you click on save. There are so many sections that you can add in here, and they so much depend on your products, on your niche. But the more information you can provide, the better it is. Remember, the most important thing is to make sure that the information that you are provided are unique per your product, at least the most important ones. You will always have information that are like common between all of your products, but there will be also information that are unique per product. And in this case, you need to use metafields. So again, go in here, add as much sections as you want, modify them, It's really up to you. The most important thing is to make sure that whatever you are doing, whatever sections you are doing, you are always providing as much information as possible in the clearest way possible. Okay, so that's it for the product pages. If you have any question concerning Metafields or product page templates, please let me know in the comment section below and I would be more than happy to help you out. After customizing your homepage, your collection pages, and your product pages, now we move to customizing all the other pages on your store. So from here, if you click, you will notice that you have like products, collections, we covered this. You have collection list. So if you have a page or if you want to use the page where you list all of your collections, you can go in here and you can modify this collection from here, this page from here, in the same way with the same logic that we have modified any other page on our store. And by the way, if you click on products, you will see that also like you have templates for coming soon, for countdown, and for pre-orders. You can also modify and customize these and use them if you wish. Okay, also if you go in here, you can customize your cart page, your checkout, but when it comes to the checkout, you can't modify much because unless you are on a Shopify Plus plan, the things that you can do in here are limited. Then you have like pages, so you have like the normal pages. In here, like there are some things that are set up like the lookbook by default. So if you want to have a lookbook page, this is like the default template given by the theme, or you can create any template that you want. So you click here on create a template, you name it, let's say FAQ, okay? And you click on create template and you modify it with the same logic that we have modified any page before. Okay, it's important to note one thing, okay? When you are creating those templates, in order to assign them to pages, because you've created this template, but unless you assign it to a page, no one is going to see it. So let's say this is our FAQs page. We need to go in here to online store, to pages, and we need to create a page that we call FAQ. And in here under templates, we need to assign the template that we have created. Because we didn't purchase Enterprise, we can see the templates in here. But once you purchase Enterprise and you make it publish, you make it public, you need to make it public in order to have access to the templates. When you make it public, you will be able to choose the FAQ template from here. So step one, you need to create the template in here of the page. Then you need to create a page in here and assign a template for it. Once you do that, you can go back to the navigation menu in here, like we have done, and you can link it within the navigation menu. So in here, you click on add menu, and for the link, you go to pages, for example, and you select the page that you have just created. Okay, for your pages, if you want them to look super fancy, it's always recommended to create templates. You don't need to use Metafields in here because you won't have like a lot of pages. When it comes to products and collections, we use Metafields in order to like make things more, let's say, practical. But for the pages, you don't need to do that. You can create templates because you won't have like a lot of pages on your Shopify store. Okay, in addition to the pages, you have the blog posts, and some other like basic pages that you can as well modify. So this is everything that you need to know in order to be able to set up and customize your Shopify theme. Most of the things that we have done in here will be applicable regardless of the theme that you are using. However, I highly recommend you to use an advanced professional theme because the work that you are going to do in here is going to be a one-time work. So do it once properly instead of doing it multiple times. And remember, when you are choosing the theme that you are going to use, it's super important to make sure that it has most of the features and functionalities that you are looking for in your Shopify store, because the alternative would be using apps, multiple apps with monthly subscriptions, and this will cost you a lot of money. Also, managing several apps at the same time is not that nice. So if you can find a theme that has everything that you are looking for, or most of the things that you are looking for, you will be saving money and time. Again, I highly recommend you to check the Enterprise theme. It's one of my all-time favorite Shopify themes. Actually, I highly recommend you to check all Clean Canvas theme. They are all very good. They provide a lot of features and sections. They look amazing, and they have a theme that works for almost every niche. They have a very great customer support service, so they will reply to your questions. They have a lot of helpful articles to show you how to use the themes and how to customize them. And most importantly, all of their themes, even the Enterprise theme, which is a very let's say, big theme, load super fast, and they perform very well compared to any other Shopify theme in the market. So consider their themes, check them out, and I'm pretty sure you will find something that works for you and for your business. Thank you so much for watching this video and for staying up until the end. I truly appreciate that. Before leaving, and if you liked this video, please don't forget to smash the like button, to subscribe to my channel, and to hit the notification bell, because in this way you will get notified each time I publish a new video. And by the way, I know that I have mentioned a lot of videos through this tutorial, so I will be linking to all of them in the description below. Just make sure to check them out, all of them, if you are in the process of building up or improving your Shopify store. I'm pretty sure they are going to be extremely helpful. Thank you, and see you on another video. Bye bye.